Every World Cup has its heavyweights, right? We're talking Brazil, Argentina, France, the usual suspects. But if history has taught us anything important, it's that the champion isn't always the team everyone expects from day one. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the hidden favorites, the teams flying just under the radar that could absolutely shock the football world in 2026. You've got the expected giants on one side, nations with trophy cabinets that basically speak for themselves. But man, the sheer pressure on those teams can become a massive burden. And then you have the hidden favorites. These unexpected contenders are quietly sharpening their tactics in the shadows. They're ready to disrupt the established order, completely free from that crushing weight of global expectation. Okay, let's dive right into this. To see who these disruptors are, we're going to analyze 5 specific dark horse nations today: Portugal, the Netherlands, Uruguay, Morocco, and Turkey.
First up on our list, Portugal, where unbelievable talent meets youth.
Look, Portugal might not be the very first team people mention, but let's be real. They possess an absolutely frightening squad right now. We're talking Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, Vitinha. It is just the perfect mix of seasoned experience and explosive raw youth. They've got the creativity, the pace, and the tactical awareness to dictate the tempo against literally anyone they face. So it begs the question, could Portugal finally win its first World Cup? I mean, they've always produced these legendary individual players, but 2026? This really feels like it might be the moment the entire squad is perfectly calibrated to go all the way. Moving on to number 2, the Netherlands, and their quest to finally break the curse. We all know the story here. The Netherlands has reached multiple World Cup finals, playing some of the most beautiful football the world has ever seen. Yet somehow, they've never actually lifted the trophy. But 2026 feels a bit different. They currently boast this incredibly strong defensive core, paired up with some super exciting young stars. Having that kind of formidable structure gives them the pragmatic foundation they desperately need to grind out those tough knockout stage wins and finally make history. There's a saying that the Dutch are always dangerous when expectations are low, and it is so true. While the global media is busy hyper-focusing entirely on France or Brazil, the Netherlands gets to operate quietly in the shadows. And honestly, flying under the radar like that might just be the greatest psychological advantage they could ask for going into 2026. All right, team number 3. Uruguay, a squad defined by pure passion and mentality. Rule number 1 of international football: never, ever underestimate Uruguay. We're talking about a tiny nation of only a few million people. Yet, generation after generation, they consistently produce these world-class talents. It almost defies logic, honestly, but it just goes to show how deeply football is woven into their cultural DNA. Just look at the names leading the charge right now: Federico Valverde, Darwin Núñez, Ronald Araujo. These guys perfectly embody the modern Uruguayan machine. They're uncompromising, intensely physical, and incredibly technically gifted. You already know, when you step onto the pitch against Uruguay, you are in for an absolute war. Shifting our focus to number 4, Morocco, who represent Africa's historic hope. We all remember how Morocco absolutely shocked the world back in 2022, right? They were out there dismantling European giants left and right. But here's the thing, they aren't satisfied with just having one good run. With Achraf Hakimi leading a highly talented new generation, this squad is hungry for more. They have the defensive discipline and that lightning-fast counterattacking speed to hurt absolutely anyone standing in their way. Which brings us to a massive, historic question. Could Africa finally produce a World Cup champion? Keep in mind, Morocco isn't just playing for their country anymore. They carry the hopes of an entire continent on their shoulders. And let me tell you, that kind of profound motivation makes them an absolute powerhouse. And finally, taking the 5th spot on our list, Turkey, the fearless underdogs. Turkey is returning to the highest stage of world football, and they are brimming with absolute confidence. Led by a really talented new generation and brilliant young stars like Arda Guler, they're primed to be the tournament's biggest disruptors. The beauty of this team is that these young players haven't been scarred by past failures. They play with this joyful arrogance and an attacking freedom that can easily overwhelm rigid, structured defenses. The world may not expect it, but you know what? That's exactly what makes Turkey dangerous. Being entirely overlooked gives them the ultimate freedom to just go out there and play without fear. And really, all it takes is a slight drop in a heavyweight opponent's guard. That's exactly what an explosive, fearless team like Turkey needs to capitalize. So I've got to ask you, which hidden favorite do you believe has the absolute best chance to shock the world? Is it going to be Portugal, the Netherlands, Uruguay, Morocco, or maybe Turkey? Tell us what you think down in the comments. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more football stories and World Cup content. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.